I'm on my way to Landmannalaugar in the Highlands of Iceland. One of the best places in Iceland to shoot, and I'm gonna show you why this is my favorite place in the world to shoot landscape photography. So like I said, I'm gonna show you a few of my favorite spots in the Landmannalaugar area and surrounding area also. It is accessible for self-driving in the summer from mid-June to late September, you know, depending on the weather a little bit, but that's usually the case. If you take a rental car, make sure you're allowed to take that car to the Highlands. You have to take an F road, which is mountain road. So clear it with the car rental company first, because some of the cars are not allowed there, and if you get into some problem, some accident or something, you are not insured. So better keep that in mind. Landmannalaugar is, however, also accessible in the winter, but not for self-driving. You will need to hire a super jeep with a driver if you're gonna go there in the winter. Also amazing. Not the focus on this video, we're just gonna cover the summer months and the areas you can go to by yourselves. Landmannalaugar is very accessible, but when you're there, you feel like you feel like you're in some remote area. That's the cool thing about Landmannalaugar. It's very easy to get to, but you feel off the grid, kind of. The easiest way to get to Landmannalaugar from Reykjavik is to take so-called Sigölduleið, as I like to call it, because you have to pass one of the hydraulic power plant in Highland called Sigölda. You drive from Reykjavik south on road number 1, which is the ring road, and drive towards Hveragerði and Selfoss, two towns of Hveragerði and Selfoss. Pass them, then drive east on road number 1. It's about an hour, just over an hour from Reykjavik. You will get a left turn on road 26. You go onwards on road 26 for a few minutes, maybe 20 minutes, then you turn right on a road called Landmannalaugar, and that will take you up to the Highlands. It's a paved road, it's fairly nice, it's a little narrow, so be careful when you have to pass cars and stuff like that. There is a hotel there on the way. Highland Center it's called. It's a hotel, it's a restaurant, and you can get coffee, and it's basically the only show in town. So if you want food, if you want, you know, drinks, anything, this is the place to stop. It also has gas. It will be your last chance to fill up. There are two other places I want to mention a little bit further away from the Landmannalaugar area, but not far, about an hour drive. Close to the Highland Center. So you turn here on this road, the sign says Hólaskógur, and you turn right if you're coming from Landmannalaugar and left if you're coming from Reykjavik. So onto a gravel road, and until you see this sign, one pointing to Háifoss and the other to Gjáin, which are the locations I've talked about. And first location is Háifoss, impressive waterfall, 122 meters, and running down a cliff which is about 2 million years old. And his neighbor, another waterfall just called Neighbor or Granni. Second one is Gjáin. Gjáin is one of those places you don't even realize you're there until you stumble upon it. It's you can see I'm located here in kind of like a desert, and very barren area, very rough area. And all of a sudden you see a valley or gorge, green, beautiful vegetation, a lot of small waterfalls, used in season 4, I think it was, in Game of Thrones. It's a magical place. So you go onwards on Landmannalaugar until you turn right on F Road 208. On that road you will pass the hydraulic power plant, Sigölda, and there the paved road will end and you will be taken to a very, very bad road. My advice, go slowly, because the rocks there are very sharp and it's very, very easy to blow the tires. So just go slow and be safe. Sigölduglúur, or Valley of Tears as it's sometimes called, is a beautiful gorge. It's man-made. It is the source of water for the power plant, Sigölda. It's an absolutely beautiful place, and it goes to show that not everything in nature where man disturbs is gonna be bad. But that's up for opinion, I guess. To get there, you continue on road F208. You pass the power plant. Drive a few minutes until you go up and down a slope again, and right after you're down you turn left, and it's a private road, so you can see here it's staff only. It's only for the people that work at the power plant. But behind it, over there, there's a parking lot, and you can walk to the gorge, to Sigölduglúur. 10-15 minutes walk. It's well worth it. Not far from Landmannalaugar is there are 2 craters. This is one. It has 2 names. It's called Ljótipollur and Bláhylur. I'm not giving any discounts in the Icelandic name, so you better pay attention. You can get beautiful pictures from here, this area here, and also if you're up for walking up this mountain over there, amazing view from there. And then we have the other one. It's called Ljótipollur, or Ugly Puddle. It's not ugly. I don't know where the name comes from. Of course there are more craters here than those 2, but those 2 are my favorite for photographing. One thing when you're driving in this area, in the Highlands of Iceland, or just anywhere for that matter, off-road driving is illegal, and for a good reason. Usually, you know, very often the police or somebody stops someone who is driving off-road, and they all have the same thing to say: they didn't know. It's crap, you know, they did know. There are signs everywhere. If it's a rental car, it's probably on your dashboard. Now they are actually fining people that go off-road and get caught. 2-3 weeks ago there was a guy fined $4,000 for driving off-road. So, and that serves him right. Just stay on the road, use common sense. And that goes for, especially here in Landmannalaugar area. It's a nature reserve. There are paths everywhere, footpaths to walk on. Stay on those paths. Here we are about 10-15 minutes from Landmannalaugar camp area. This lake here is called Frostastaðavatn. There's fish here. You can get a permit to fish if you like. And of course this is an amazing photo spot. This mountain here called Söðurnámur, very colorful, And especially at sunrise and sunset, it catches amazing colors. Especially sunrise. Beautiful sunrise spot. And on the other side we have Gjáin and Gjáin. Nice background for a sunrise. But you know, as you can see, you don't really need sunrise and sunset here. It's just beautiful the way it is, but of course that's what we're all aiming for. But if you drive up this hill here on the way to Landmannalaugar, there's a parking lot at the top of this hill. And from here there's like a just amazing view in every direction. It doesn't really matter where you point your camera, you cannot go wrong. Finally, you turn right on F Road 224, which ends in Landmannalaugar, and then you're there. At the end of that road there's a river. If you're up to it and you know your car is up to it, cross the river. Otherwise there's a parking before you have to cross it, and you'll just walk onto the campsite. There's a footpath, a bridge, small bridge where you can walk over, and it's not far. So like I said, you don't have to cross the river to get there. There's a parking lot on the other side of the river. There's a perfectly good footpath, a bridge over it. But it's not a big river, so if you have a decent 4x4, you should be able to do it. For accommodations here in Landmannalaugar, you have two options. First, this here campground. It is not bad. The problem with it is, and people complain a lot about it, is, well, you have two options to put your tent down. You can put it down here in this gravel. It's a volcanic area, so it's just gravel. There's no like vegetation here, but there are some vegetation over there. But the difference is here you have those big ass rocks, you know, and it can be really difficult to put the tent pins down. So sometimes you just have to use rock to secure the tent. But it stays dry. Even if it rains, it stays dry, this area. You know, it doesn't accumulate water. However, over there, on the where the grass is, it is softer, definitely. But if it starts to rain, it accumulates a lot of water, and you know, it could be wet. So out of the two, I always pick this area here. You know, I want to stay dry. I just bring good mattress, so that takes care of that. The price for camping here per person is 2,000 Icelandic kroner, which is about $20. That includes toilets, but not showers. So if you want to take a shower, it's an extra 500 kroner. So one night and a shower is about 25 bucks. You know, compared to many other campsites, it's higher, but you have to take into account where we are. We are in the Highlands, and maintaining this place is quite expensive. And sometimes you just have to think more about the value of things, not only the price. The other option you have is this hut over there, where you can get space for you and your sleeping bag. I'm not sure about the price for that, but you know, if you're gonna do that, you would need to make a reservation in advance. It is pretty popular. So these are the toilets, service center, the huts, the sleeping huts, and there's the ranger place if you get into any problems. In the Highland Center where we stopped earlier, there is a hotel. It's about an hour drive, so if you really do not want to spend a night in tent, you could stay there. It's more expensive, but you know, but if you don't mind that, and if you don't mind the driving back and forward, it's an option. The campsite is beautifully located, and you know, just 5 minutes walk in every direction there is a photo op. This lava field over there, you just can go on top of that. You can walk here in this direction a little closer, or use a zoom lens to get a little closer to get the details of this mountain. But if you're up for a hike, I definitely recommend this mountain over there. This is called Mount Bláhylur. It's about 940 meters high. Landmannalaugar is in about 500 meters, so it's only 440 meters elevation, so it's not that high. And there is a path all the way up. Nice path. It's a little steep in some places, but you know, it's if your physical form is okay, you should be able to get up there. It will take you about an hour or maybe 2 hours, depending on your physical form. But once you're up there, the view is amazing. And also, you know, don't run up there. It's not a marathon. You know, take your time, take pictures on the way, and the mountain is the second. It's, you know, first is the smaller one, then there's Mount Bláhylur in the back, the higher one. So if you're feeling adventurous and all your insurance are up to date, you could, you know, stand on this and do that. I'm not gonna do that today. It's windy, so I really shouldn't even be leaving my camera then the wind, because it's, I'm gonna stop this. This is stupid. So once you're up there, don't come back down the same path. You know, there is you go across the mountain and down on the other side, and it's a good option to take this gorge. It's like a gorge called Gjáin between there. Come down the mountain and go that way back. It will end up right here in the same place as we started. Another great option is Mount Brennisteinsalda. You don't see it, it's here in the back. You can see it here in the drone shot. It's a red mountain straight ahead. That's a little easier hike. It will take you, well, to go to Mount Bláhylur is only about 5 minutes away from the campsite. You know, it's 5-10 minutes and you're on the path up the mountain. To go up Brennisteinsalda, you will actually have to walk through this lava field for half an hour, and until you come to the path up the mountain. And to go up will take you maybe 40 minutes. Amazing view, amazing shots there, and the same goes there. Don't go down the same path you came up. Go the other side, and on the other side of this mountain there's a huge field of cotton grass or cotton balls. I think it's called cotton grass, the flower with kind of like the cotton on top. Great foreground if you go low and close to it, with the mountain range in the background. And then you come back across the lava field and you will end there close to the huts. The same place you start the route, actually. All paths are color-coded, and in the information center you can get a map. You should do that. So you can follow the path. It has like these sticks in the side of it, marked red or green or white, depending on where you're going. It's very easy to follow. So that's basically it. There are many more places and routes you can take than I have showed you here in this short video. You know, these are my favorites, and to come here to Landmannalaugar, I recommend you stay here. You don't, you know, a day tour, I mean, if there's no other option than a day tour, do it. But 2-3 days, you know, you need 2-3 days to do the area justice. You won't regret it. It's truly one of the best places I have ever visited. And every time I'm here, I'm here quite a bit. It's amazing. There is a natural geothermal pool here, and so bring your Speedo. And that is exactly what I'm gonna do now. I was told that, you know, in order to gain some subscribers and followers on social media, YouTube, I would have to show some skin. So that's what I'm doing. So nothing like ending the day with a, well, nice geothermal pool. It's kind of cold here, but you know, that should get better over there. So the stones are stinging. So it probably looks nicer than it is. So as I said, there are tons of places of photo ops here around this area. Not just the locations, but also like just keep your eyes open when you're driving, and you will see something, jump out of the car and do it. Those locations I showed you are my favorite, but there are of course many more. And you know, after a great day like this, there's nothing like, you know, sitting in the geothermal pool here in Landmannalaugar and relaxing a little bit. Hope you enjoyed the video as much as we enjoyed making it. Bye.